what's up? It's Monika from helpqa.com. In today's video I'm gonna be talking about work and holiday visa to Australia. So there's two things that you need to know, and maybe first about what you need to know in terms of requirements. So there's two different subclass to work and holiday visa. There's 462 and 417. That's what you need to do. So first of all, you need to have your English, and well, obviously you are going to the English speaking country, so it's good to know English, but they want to check if you actually know English enough to communicate. But don't worry, you don't really need very high score. You need basically from IELTS you need around 4.5 as the overall score. So basically 4.5, it's I would say 4.5 is like A2. So it's not really something something difficult to do. It's very basic English, so that's what you need to even apply for work and holiday visa. And what else? You need to be under 30 years old, and depending on your country as well, it might be a bit different, because some countries I know that they have a limit of 32 years old. So if you're lucky, you might arrive here even if you are more than 30, but as well check your country requirements. So what else you need to know about work and holiday visa? You need to have a proof of funds. So depending on your country it might be a little bit different, but for example, if you're from Poland, it's 5,000 Australian dollars. So you need to have a bank statement, and in that bank statement you need to actually show them that you have that 5,000 Australian dollars. And that might be something problematic, because 5,000 Australian dollars is quite a lot of money, but there's few tricks that you can do. Let's say you don't have those 5,000. What you can do, you can probably borrow that 5,000 from someone, put your bank account, then ask for the bank statement, and that's it. They're not gonna really dig if you have that 5,000 or not. As long as you have a proof of funds, bank statement, that's fine. But still, don't come here if you have just $500, because you're gonna struggle, and we don't want that. You don't want that. What else? You need to have a higher education, and that's something really funny for me, because Australia required people with at least 2 years of higher education. The higher education, I mean bachelor degree or master degree. So you need to have at least 2 years of that education, and you need to prove it. So you need obviously diploma or certificate or whatever you have. And it's why it's funny. It's funny because basically here in Australia you can't really use it. I mean, because obviously you're not gonna get the job probably where that certificate or diploma will actually mean something. And why is that? I'm gonna tell you in a few minutes. But what else you need? So you need a higher education, you need a proof of funds, you need to IELTS certificate to prove your English. And your age, you cannot be older than 30 years old. And that's basically it to apply for work and holiday visa. The other thing important to remember is that the applications might be a bit different depending on the country. So let's say, again, Poland, because I'm from Poland, it used to be just 1 day in a year to apply. Train. So it used to be just 1 day to apply. Now there's more than 1 day, but still there's basically 2 slots that you can apply. So be prepared for that in your country might be the same, and you need to have all the documents ready for that 1 day to apply. So start ahead, because it usually takes some time. At least with IELTS you might need a little bit of time to practice and to have a score that you need. So don't leave it to the last moment, because it might be too late. The other thing is there's a place limitation. That is something that is increasing year by year, because I think Australia realized that they actually need cheap labor to pick the fruits. So there's more and more places. Those birds here. So when I was applying for working holiday visa, there was only 200 places per year. In Poland now it's 1,500, which is really great. You don't need to kill yourself or kill somebody else to get that visa. But still, check your country, because if your country is new to that program, it might be just a small amount of places per year. Like Mexico, it just joined the program last year, so they have a limit. I think only 300 people that they can enter. But it changes all the time, so just check your limitation, check how many people per year, and that's it. So as well, we know what you need to do to get working holiday visa. You know that you need to prepare ahead. Another thing to know about working holiday visa is what's happening, what is your rights being on that visa. So the working holiday visa is quite tricky, because you think that, oh wow, I can work in Australia, I can work full-time, that's great, but you can work full-time just for one employer for no more than 6 months. And what does it mean in reality? It means that basically your chances to get any legit jobs are really small, because imagine you want to get an office job, a job that requires some skills or knowledge about some softwares, so they need to train you. Even if you know that softwares from your country, they still need to train you, because yeah, they have maybe different standards, quality, and blah blah blah. So basically, for example, my story. I was working in a travel agency in Poland, so I was using 4 different softwares, and they are like international softwares for bookings and this stuff. And even though they're using the same softwares here in Australia, they still want me to do like a 3 months preparation. So as soon as they realize that I can work for them only for 6 months, obviously the job flew away. Why? Because they're not gonna invest 3 months to basically train you in something when they know that after 6 months they need to find someone else on that position. So that's something that is actually quite not cool, but that's how it is. So I think the best would be if you're gonna prepare yourself to get jobs like hospitality jobs. So it's gonna be waitressing, it's gonna be probably bartender. If you know how to do coffees, maybe barista. If you don't know, that's okay, you can still learn. But actually, with that limitation, it's quite hard to find a legit job, so job in your field. But still, if you are young, if you're just another train, if you are young, just after university or in the middle or just after high school. No, it cannot be after high school. Maybe if you are from Germany, then yes, then you can come here after high school. But basically, yeah, if you're young and if you don't mind doing that kind of jobs, that's still okay, and you can get really cool experience. You can meet people, you can basically improve your language, and this is still cool. But it might be hard for people who already have some years of experience from their home country, and let's say they have quite, let's say, high positions, and they then come here and they need to do like 4 steps back. But as long as we are prepared for that change, it's still gonna be okay. So that's the first limitation, the 6 months working for one employer. Then another thing is that you can extend that visa, so you can basically get the second year working holiday visa. But to get that, you need to do 88 days of how it's called, on the farm jobs, farm work. And again, it depends on your subclass. If you have 462 subclass, then you might be eligible to do as well hospitality. Both hospitality and the farm jobs they need to be done on the north of the Capricorn line, which is funny again. I don't know why over there, but that's how they want it. I think they want to avoid you coming to big cities like Perth or Sydney or Melbourne, so you can only go up north and be in the small towns. But anyway, so you need to do 88 days of that farm jobs or hospitality. If you are on the subclass 462, I would highly recommend to do hospitality jobs, which is waitressing, bartender, barista, some hotel jobs, shops jobs in the like touristic areas, something like that. If you don't need to do farm work, don't do it. It's well, the farm works in Australia, there are very dangerous jobs, so if you don't need to do it, don't do it. You need to remember that you are working in the very very harsh weather conditions. It might be 40-45 degrees. It might be really cold as well. You would be surprised how cold it is in Australia in winter or at the desert. So you are working really long hours per day. Often you are not getting paid fairly. You get accommodation on the farm, which is usually very basic accommodation, which is fine as well, but as well most of the time those accommodations are just, you know, like really awful. There's a lot of problems with the drug abuse, with the sexual abuse, yes, again, if you don't need to do it, don't do the farm job here. Let's stop that kind of way of thinking that Australia can use us to pick their avocados, because it's just not fair. You know, we are coming here with our master's degrees not to be picking avocados. So if you don't need to do it, just don't. So that's another disadvantage. So you need to do this 88 days, and then if you have that 88 days, then you can apply for a second-year visa. But still, you need to have pay slips to prove it. You need to work full-time. You need to basically be paid more than minimum wage. There's like a lot of things that you need to remember. So it's not just you go on the north of the Capricorn line. You need to basically find a job that is gonna be considered for that extension of your visa. So always check with the government page if that kind of job is actually gonna give you this second-year visa, because you might be doing 88 days and then in the end you're just gonna, you know, they're gonna send you home anyway. So yeah, that's another thing. What else you need to know about working holiday visa? So working holiday visa, what is the huge advantage about working holiday visa? So you're coming to the country that is really great. It's beautiful. You can see you know, there's palms there. Like, I'm sitting on the grass. I'm just hoping that there's no spiders that are gonna kill me. But that's another thing, you know, that everyone is saying, oh yeah, in Australia there's all these animals that can kill you. That's not entirely true. Obviously you need to be careful, especially on the north in the rainforest area, but in the big cities, you know, the possibility that you are gonna basically encounter any dangerous animal is really tiny, so don't worry too much. So yeah, you are basically coming to the great country. The people are really nice here. The customer service is great, especially if you are coming from the country like mine, like Poland, where customer service is like really bad. Here it's really nice, you know, like people are gonna even if they cannot help you, they will still pretend that they're trying to help you, which is nice. So yeah, coming back to the advantages. So you're coming to the great country, really beautiful. You are gonna meet nice people, because Australians are really nice. They might be a little bit racist if you are from Asia, unfortunately, but if you are from Europe, or if you are a white person, for sure it might be a little bit easier. I know that is quite awful to say, but that is my experience, and seeing as well my friends from Latin America, that they are, like, let's say, a little bit browner than this white piglet color. Yeah, so what I realized that they are usually on the same position, getting a little bit less paid, at least if it's illegal job. If it's like, yeah, if you're working in the restaurant or cafe, when you don't have contract, yeah, they might get paid a little bit less than a white person, which is of course not good, but yeah, they need to fight for themselves as well, but they usually don't. So well, you are gonna improve your English, that's for sure. Well, so I would say that would be everything. So just to sum up, what you need to know about the working holiday visa: there's 2 subclasses, so remember to check which one is yours. Remember to check the dates for the applications, because they might be just one day, it might be just a 1 day in a year, so you don't want to miss that. Remember to pass your IELTS, but don't worry too much, because it's just 4.5, so it's really low. But still prepare, because IELTS, it has that funny format that it might be tricky, the questions. There's a time limitation, so you might be stressed and then your score can drop, so prepare yourself for that exam. But you need to have proof of funds, usually around 5,000 Australian dollars. You need to have 2 years of higher education, and that's it. If you are from Poland, you need to have as well the letter of recommendation from our Ministry of Work. But if you're not from Poland, check what kind of letter of recommendation you need. Maybe you need you don't need at all, but just check it. You're gonna get the link to the work and holiday visa in the link below that video, so you can check how it works. And yeah, that would be everything. In the next video we are gonna be talking about student visa, which is really a fun option as well for being in Australia. Okay, so thank you so much.